Hi, today I'm going to show you our MMB Field Agent Portal administrative tool. We're going to review how compliance teams review call recordings in our back office system. Typically, when we go through this use case, we'll show you all the functionality of our back office, but since we're trying to keep this video short today, I'm just going to show you the call recording, audit, and retrieval capabilities of our system. So now I'm going to switch screens and log into our administrative portal where I can show you our compliance capabilities here for the call recordings. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in here with my username and password and click the orange button. Right away, you're taken to our administrative dashboard page, and this is the page that provides all the features you have as an admin user. We provide our administrative site for all carrier users of our agent portal tool, and this allows you to manage users, manage reports, and also view call logs and call records. I'm going to go over to the Agent Records button here, which will allow me to review call records. What you'll see now is this is a list of all the call recordings that are associated to our demo site. Up on top here, we provide pretty powerful search criteria, and the use case we would apply this to is if you're coming in, and let's say you're a compliance person or you're an auditor, and you need to review all the call recordings associated to an enrollment, to an agent, or to a specific client, we can go ahead and enter it here and filter down the results. Let me go ahead and actually look at all the recordings associated to me as an agent in the system here. So I'll put in my agent last name, and I'll click search. Now the list here is filtered out just by all the records that are tied to me as an agent in the system. Now each line here represents a call. So you might have multiple calls associated to a specific lead ID. And if you take a look here, these top four are all associated with the same lead ID. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of these in detail, and we'll just take a look at this fourth one here. As you see, not only do I have the agent information, I'll also have the plan information and the client name. This column right here for call type identifies if it's an inbound call or an outbound call based upon the arrow there. I also have the call start time and the duration of that particular call. Now here's where we get a little more interesting here. We provide full details of that particular call as well as links out to associated files. This first link here is the call recording, the actual voice file that we saved and tied to this particular enrollment information here. If I go ahead and click on this play icon, you'll actually hear the call that we just had. Let me go ahead and do that right now.
Hello,
Hi, this is Gabe from MMB Agency. Is this Oliver?
this is Oliver.
Oh, great. Hi, Oliver. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Great. Well, I'm calling you about your Medicare Advantage enrollment here, and I'd like to go ahead and get started with enrollment. Do you have time right now?
I do. I have time.
Wonderful. All right. Thanks a lot. I'm going to hang up now.
Okay. Nice talking to you.
Great. As you see, that same discussion that we had just a few minutes ago is fully recorded and now available on the back office. Now, once again, the information here is provided in real time, and it takes maybe about a minute and a half to load into the back office here, depending upon the length of the call. What's happening behind the scenes when that call is completed is that we're saving that call into a voice file, and then we're also transcribing it. Now, I can show you the transcription log here. If I go ahead over here to this little icon that looks like a piece of paper, if I click on that, what you'll see is I'll be able to download this file to my desktop. Now I'm going to go down and open this file. Now that the call recording file is open, you can see what the transcription file looks like. As you see, we actually parse out the data and organize it by whether it's from the caller or the agent. This makes it a lot easier for two things. One, we have additional analysis that's going on behind the scenes to identify the sentiment of the caller and the agent, and I'll show you that in a second. But also, when you're going through these voice transcription files here, it makes it really easy to understand who is saying what. And it makes it easier for us to do searches, makes it easier for us to understand where, for instance, the call may have had some trouble. All right, now that I closed the call transcript file, now I want to look at the sentiment analysis feature. Now you've probably already noticed on the display here, we have these last two columns that shows caller and agent, and there's funny little smiley faces, neutral faces, and even angry faces associated with that. What this is sentiment analysis. And what our system does is once the voice file is transcribed into text, we analyze that text file. And as I mentioned already, we've separated between caller and agent. This sentiment analysis then looks at the words and the phrases used by either the caller or the agent and starts calculating whether this is a happy call, a neutral call, or a sad call. Now let me scroll down a little bit and get an example here where we see a bigger variation, perhaps an angry call or an angry caller versus a happy agent. And we'll just go ahead and scroll down. Here's an example here, the first example. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open up the details of this particular call. And as you see here, the caller sentiment was 86% negative. So that means that the words and the phrases that we found in that call log were 86% negative. From the agent side, we have 90% positive. And once again, we're looking at the words and the phrasing used by the agent on this particular call. What we find here is sentiment analysis does a couple things. First of all, it's kind of neat to see this, but more importantly, what we're starting to do here is we're starting to have the system now analyze these conversations. And this will help us develop red flags, for instance, in looking at agent behavior or caller behavior and identifying patterns. The sentiment analysis really provides us kind of our first layer in analyzing these large volume of voice files. One thing it does is allows us to provide an analytical base here so we can start looking at patterns. And these patterns could also include things like correlating things like rapid disenrollments through customer satisfaction issues or any complaints that you might get from a compliance perspective and start now tying it into a bulk level of calls or any agent behavior and start finding out where those patterns are. This is really our first attempt here to use data and big data analysis here to identify problems before you get complaints. Great, we finished a quick demo here, and now let's just wrap it up really quick with a few points. Now, our field agent solution is really built upon the principle of three main things. First of all, we're CMS compliant, and we leverage existing compliance standards and enforce agent compliance through the system. We also provide full transparency and easy-to-use tools to monitor your agents, whether it's compliance or the sales processes. Secondly, we believe field agent adoption is critical for this solution, and we made sure that the process was streamlined and easy to use based upon our already proven call center technology. Most importantly, we also don't require any special hardware or third-party software, so your agents and your administrators can access the system anywhere. And lastly, we built this on a fully configurable SaaS environment, so we know how to do rapid deployments. Our typical implementation times from 3 to 6 weeks, and we could support you this coming AEP. If you have any questions or you want to talk to us and learn a little bit more about how our solution can work within your workflow, please contact us through our website at www.mymedicarebot.com. Thank you, and have a great day.